Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So, I wanted to talk about some things. Really, nothing. I just have to edit some videos. So, I'm going to share that with you guys. It's therapeutic for me. And I know I got some watchers out there. So, let's get started. This is brought to you by Emerald City Smoothie, a citywide smoothie shop. I am going to go to Jamba Juice. Jamba Juice is still good with me. I'm not saying they're better. Emerald City Shop has additives like energy shot, um, protein, and different antioxidants and stuff. I love those type of shops because they give more ingredients than Jamba Juice. Jamba Juice only do whey protein and soy protein and spirulina or something like that. But they have like over 20 different items you can put into your bee pollen. I have to try that. I have to try a peanut butter smoothie and peanut butter chocolate and banana smoothie, and that's what I want to try. But this right here is my baby. This is an acai with energy boosting properties. So yeah. So let's get down to editing. Let's add the screen, and we'll get down to editing. I've been thinking about you. Wonder who's stuck in your head at night. Wonder if I ever cross your mind. Giving you would be a bed at night. Your heavy heart to break. I got so many people. That's why I'm trying to get it done. So many wonderful people I interviewed. Let's delete what I already did. Who is this? I did Joshua's. Tamara's. And what's his name? Matt Lobel. I did Matt Lobel. Oh, I got 3 more. Yay, I'm on a roll. Because I kept them at 15 minutes. So we're going to do download, master, the master. Okay. And what's his name again? Tim McCarthy. He sounded like a book. Let me delete that. Do it again. Let's do it again. Baby. Baby. Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. I'm just so bored. Look at my mind. Slowly. Okay, we're going to delete this too. Delete that. Take some more space, as much space as I can. Okay, so we got this, this, and this. Cool. Now let's go here. Okay, we're gonna sit you. Hopefully, it'll let me sit you right here. Nope, because it's empty now. So I need something. I got something. Right there. Perfect. Scoot you up. What else? we're going to actually close this back out. And I wish I can, no, because it's copyrighted. Um, what can I do until then? Open up MNN, upload media, open up what else? We transfer. So that's what y'all see while I'm editing. Okay, so we're gonna go here and look for these videos. March 3rd. Okay, we got 1, 2, and 3. Why am I pushing trash? Okay, so we got all of these videos. Okay, so we're gonna delete that. Delete that. First, we're gonna put Tim McGraw right here, right there. Okay, we're gonna scroll. No, go. We're gonna scroll down, and we're gonna delete that. What's the next video? Master Joshua, right there. Don't show this magic again. Thank God. And we're going to delete Joshua's boards with who? Did I just do Casanova Greens? No, I did Tim Girl. Casanova Greens. Is this part? Yeah. Bam. So right in the right places. Okay. So I have 57 minutes. I needed 58, right on the money. And we're going to change this. We got Tim McCarthy. Who else? Master Joshua. And who else? Casanova. Ah, Green. Do it right here. So we got Tim McCarthy, Master Joshua. I hate when I mess up. Master Joshua. And Casanova. Ah! Casanova. Am I spelling that right? Green. Cool. March 3rd. Kimberly Cloud Show, Kimberly Cloud Show. Cool. So now we scroll on here. Okay, watch this. See what it says. Hold on. What is that one doing way over there? Okay, I know how to get you. You want to play? I'm just going to leave it alone. One editor. It can mean one editor. Just Leave it alone because I don't see it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have a hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have a very, very, very special guest here today that's been doing wonderful things for people. Can you go ahead? Oh, that echo. World, who you are and where you're from.
I'm Tim McCarthy, and right now I'm in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Beautiful, sunny Florida.
Cool. And you want to go ahead and talk about your past leading up to your present?
Sure.
And Manja, it's nothing I can really do about that because of the sound bites. There's no way I can try to glue it into one where I sit up there and because it's going to get better, I think. Sometimes they used to do that on my show when other people record and have it turned up like the radio.
I consider myself an educator. I've always had that desire to learn and then to share what I've learned. So when I went to school to become a teacher, got my bachelor's in English education, and went out and became an English teacher. Started out in the public schools, didn't quite meet my needs. My background was private school, so that I could relate better. But having gained a year of experience, I sent out probably over 200 applications to get that first year teaching job, and took the first one I got. And it was in a town so small that one day I came out of the classroom and there was a horse tied up outside the classroom.
Whoa.
But they took me, I took them, we started, and I got some good references. And then the next year I got into the private school, which is where I wanted to be.
What year was this?
Oh gosh, this was 78, 1978. Cool. Yeah, were you even born then?
No, sir. Go ahead.
So anyway, I got into the private schools, worked my way up into administration, and was a basketball coach. Because again, my background, I played ball in high school and kind of went back to my high school years. Except for moving up into administration, I was the dean of students. So I was the disciplinarian. So all day I'd deal with the bad kids. And then after school, I'd deal with the basketball players and have some fun. And so it was okay. And then they decided to take the basketball job away from me because I was too strict on the kids. I was a disciplinarian and the kids didn't like it. So they fired me as the basketball coach. Incidentally, later that year, half the team got thrown off the team for drinking alcohol on the bus.
So, wow.
So maybe they needed a disciplinarian. But anyway.
I agree.
Anyway, I stayed on as the dean and finished my year out and then quit teaching. All this time I was studying the martial arts. I got my black belt in 1978. And so I was teaching after school and on the side for different masters. And became an educational consultant where I would travel from school to school and help kids who were behind get caught up using computer programs. And this is, late 70s, early 80s. So these were computers that were huge, and the Commodores, which would be collectible items now. But we provided them to the kids. They caught up on their math skills. They caught up on their reading. It was a great program. But I got fired again. Okay, so here I am, an honor student, graduated college with high honors. I got fired twice in 2 years.
And to let y'all know, I've been fired before. Some of us have had the I say it's a good thing to get fired because it comes with a learning experience, and it not only comes with a learning experience, but it comes with removing yourself from the problem. You know, it's not always our fault why we get fired. It's just it is what it is, but it could be a good thing and a bad thing.
So I sat down. I said, "What do I want to do with my life?" Well, if I won the lottery, I'd probably do martial arts full time. So I went to my master and said, "Can I do this?" And he was old school. He said, "Yes, you can, but you have to volunteer for an entire month, no pay, to make sure that you're going to stick around." So I did, and formed a great relationship and stayed with him for 30 years. And so I was the teacher of the students. He had a large organization. I ended up advising over 700 schools in the US and Canada on how to run their business better so they could stay open for their students and not close, and how to teach a little bit better with my educational background. They were very good fighters. They had learned a certain style of teaching, probably a very military style.
Good.
Most of them got the martial arts in their military. And that just doesn't work real well with young kids. And so we had to kind of update their teaching style. Around the turn of the century, around the year 2000, we got partnered with somebody to develop the after school and summer camp martial art program. And you've probably seen those signs all over the place. And we developed it. Some schools, they say, yeah, send your kids in. They play dodgeball, and then they teach martial arts, and the kids go home. Well, I added an educational aspect to that where they played various games. And especially in summer camp, you got the kids for 8, 10, 12 hours a day. You can't teach martial arts that long. The body just won't do it. So we have all kinds of activities that were physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual.
Just to let you know, I said good because I believe that children should get a taste of what it's like in a military disciplinary realm, because all they sometimes do is sit at home, you know, and watch TV. And when you start watching TV, your mind goes away and you start doing bad things. Children are getting into drugs now. Children are getting into all types of stuff. You know, you can go on and turn on you can, and I'm gonna be honest, this is very true. You can look up pornographic stuff and all they ask you is you 18? And all you have to do is say yes. Right? We know that as adults. So, and then make a fake Facebook page. I think you got to be 13.
Meaning moral. We didn't teach any kind of religion. We didn't want to exclude any religion. So everybody was welcome, but we did teach morality. In the martial arts, it's important to know how to punch somebody, but much more important to know when to punch somebody and when not to punch somebody. So a lot of moral education, a lot of confidence building for the kids, and a lot of activities for that. So that was what got me up to my retirement. And then when I retired, I said, well, how can I bring this knowledge, bring this ability to teach kids to the average parent? And so I wrote a book and put the book out to make it available. I say it's the owner's manual you didn't get with your child. So if you got a baby and you don't know what to do with it, even if you got a teenager and you don't know what to do with it, I've done the research, years of research on developmental psychology, what the brain is doing in an infant, what's happening to the brain in the toddler years, what's happening to the brain in all the way through to the teenage years. And if you understand what the brain's capable of, then you understand how to deal with the child at their level, not your own level, at their level, so they understand you. And then, so I broke it down into 4 dimensions. I personally believe we have 4 dimensions as human beings: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And even if you're an atheist and you don't believe in spirits, you believe in right and wrong. So if it's not spirituality, it's morality under the same chapter. So I broke the book down into chapters. You look at the toddler chapter, you have the physical development, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual development. And then what I did is I gathered 400 activities and divided them up so that at every age group, in every dimension, there are some activities.
Which one out of the four are powerful, more powerful than, which is more important, should I say?
If you believe in the spiritual, I'd say the spiritual is the most important, because if you believe you have a soul that lives on, then this is just a learning experience for the next life. So as long as you believe in that, that's the most important. I think even if you don't believe in the spirit, if you believe in right and wrong, that's where true confidence comes from. If you know you're a good person, you can be confident in yourself. If you're a thief, deep down inside, you know you're not worthy. So I think that's the basis to build things on, but they really all four combine and they work at the same time. And you go back and forth. You can advance physically and be slow, even retarded mentally or emotionally. And you can advance in different levels. And so I'm sure you know adults who are emotionally teenagers or even preteens.
Are you in a psychology book yet?
I'm not a psychologist.
But are you going to be in a psychology book for students? Because this is a wonderful breakthrough.
I agree, it's a wonderful breakthrough. And right now I'm focusing on the parents so that they can raise their kids better. And then when those kids become adults, hopefully they can do the same for their kids and I can start a whole movement. But it's one person at a time at this point.
I wanted to ask you, have you ever had a child come up to you years later and say, thank you for the tough love?
I'm not sure for the tough love, but I've had many come back and thank me. I was invited to a 30-year reunion of one of my a group of my students, and saw 20 or 30 of them, and they all seemed very happy to see me, and we talked about the old stories and the old days. And the things they remember, it's not necessarily the discipline or the tough love, but the kindness and just oddities. I'm a vegetarian. And so if I eat an apple, I eat the whole apple, including the core. And so that always catches people's attention. That's very strange. I'll sit down and eat, or I used to sit down and eat a bunch of bananas for lunch. And so the kids just went crazy for that. And so
Can I ask you something? Do you still study, the children that you help raise into adults with your teaching skills and your coaching skills, when they come back to you and they tell you, hey, I remember when you helped me do a project, what, do you still study that? Do you study the fact of how much they can retain as children to adulthood?
No. No. And when you say study that, to do a fair psychological study, you need a group, you need controls, just things that I don't have access to, that teachers do, universities do. One of the things I say is that I put information out there and I cite the research to back it, but research changes. I mean, at my age, I've read that coffee's good for you. Then a few years later, coffee's bad for you. Then a few years later, coffee's good for you again.
I agree.
So research always changes. So I say that this is what they say right now is happening to a 2-year-old's brain. 5 years from now, the research may change. And I ask people not to believe what I say because it's me. Who am I? But think about it.
Research.
Test it out. Do some reading and check my research and do some current research. So, in this day and age, you can't believe what you see online. So you got to question everything.
If you had to give one piece of advice out there to the young entrepreneur out there that want to follow your steps, what would it be?
To entrepreneurs, take a chance. Take a chance. Be a little bold. I'm conservative. Okay, I had my job. My wife was a hairdresser. So I said, well, let's open up a hair salon together. My business ends, your hairstyling skills, we can do this. But I didn't quit my job to open the hair salon. I kept my job and we opened the hair salon and ran both. It never reached the point where it would have supported us. We eventually sold it, made money. She made money as a hairdresser. We made money when we sold it, but it would not have been a viable income. So I'm very conservative. I say, keep your day job, start your side hustle, work on it. When you're sure it will pay for yourself, then you can quit your day job. Another story, I had started investing in stock options. And this stock option company.
I have to say something about that. If you ever want to invest in stock or whatever, they got a bank called Fidelity. And it's a long story. I'll just say this. I invested in Facebook. I got like a 20% return on that. I invested 150. I got like 180 back because I didn't keep it in there. It went down for a second and it went back up. So invest.
They had, she had like 24 out of 28 winners. Okay. You're a winner. Let me follow you.
I cashed it out, y'all. I needed the money.
And at work, she'd say, buy this. Okay. I'd buy this. Okay. Now sell it. The first month I made $11,000 following her advice. I was ready to, okay, I'm going to retire. I'm out the door. This is amazing. The second month, no. The third month, no. I ended up losing money, all the 11,000 and more over time. So I'm not one of those, quit your job and go for it. I'm more conservative than that. Set up your side hustle, work it. And I mean, work it as a side business. I also invested in real estate as a side business. And that's what funded my retirement. We bought.
That's what I want to do. It's like a 16-week course. You sit up there and invest. But the hardest part is finding a job to be the real estate agent. You can get the certificates. I even had a class that somebody paid for me. And if she's out there watching, I apologize. It was $300 she paid for it for me in Santa Maria. And I was doing it, but I'd rather be in a traditional not 16-week, but a traditional classroom setting, because trying to do that on my own, the University of Phoenix is different than doing real estate classes because it's just different. But I'd rather be in a traditional schoolroom setting, and I would love to do that, flip houses and stuff. That's my goal. I'll probably do that by mid-year to end of this year. Sign up for a junior college, just real quick. Just pay for a class, real quick. Get that certificate, and start selling houses and get the percentile and save my money.
I managed on the weekends. My wife and I are working all day, every day. On the weekends, we're managing, we're helping, and we're doing what we can with the real estate. And as we sold it, we were able to have a comfortable retirement. So side hustle, yes. Entrepreneurship, absolutely. But I don't say quit and go full bore like some people do. I say put your foot in the water, get good at it, learn the ropes, and if it pays, then you can jump in full bore.
Thank you. Well said. And where do you see your business in the future?
Well, again, I'm retired.
Your book,
but my desire would be to do this sort of thing every day, where I'm telling people that I can help them raise their kids better, happier, relieve a lot of the stress at home, where you're fighting with your kids and you don't know why. So getting the word out there, promoting the book, and then 5-10 years from now, who knows, there may be a follow-up needed. But right now, the job, the focus is to help people raise their kids.
Thank you. And for 2 minutes, if you wanted to explain anything, you have the floor to talk before we end.
Okay, well, just hang on a second. Let me lean out of the screen. There it is. That's the book. Again, Raising 4-Dimensional Children in a 2-Dimensional World. You can get it on Amazon. I've got my own website where you can find out about me and get some special deals. And it's 4D-2D.com. And the D as in dimension. 4D-2D.com. Don't forget the dash. You'll end up in China somewhere. So, that's just the way the internet works. So anyway, that's where you can find out more about me, about the book, about how to raise kids, where it comes from. But I just say we need a new direction in raising our children. Just recently, there was another shooting in Texas. It happens, where these poor kids grow up emotionally unbalanced, and then they go out and buy a gun and shoot people. I can't change the laws. You can't change the laws, but we can change the way we raise our kids. And so if you have some emotional understanding of the way the emotions develop through the years, and you have some emotional activities to help them move up to the next level, that's something every parent can do. They can do their kid, and that's one more step in the right direction.
And it's very fulfilling for both parents to see the success of their child through your process, your 4-dimensional process. So yeah. So how can the people reach you?
Once again, Amazon or on my website, 4D-2D.com. And you can try contact at 4D2D.com. I've also got a Tim McCarthy webpage. I've got Twitter is at 4D Parents, Instagram at 4D Parents, and I actually have a YouTube channel with some of my martial arts stuff, really cool stuff. It's called
I have to watch that.
Grandmaster Tim McCarthy. And then 4-Dimensional Parenting has some shorts of like 1-minute excerpts from the book on how to deal with teenagers, how to deal with being pregnant, how to deal with an infant, things like that. And that's a YouTube channel called 4-Dimensional Parenting.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining my show. You definitely take care. Stay on the line, and I will stay on the line, and I will see y'all later. Thank you for that party. I will see you later. On the line, and I will see y'all later. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining my show. You definitely take care. I will see y'all later. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
And I will see y'all for joining my show. You definitely take care. And I will see y'all later. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
This is Master Joshua, part 2. I hate it when there's nothing I can do about that. That's why they want you to do sound check. And sometimes it used to get hectic at my house. Noise and everything, and I had to ignore it. So I had to ignore it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have a very, very, very special guest. Can you go ahead and announce to the world who you are and where you're calling from?
Thank you so much, Kimberly. My name is Joshua. I'm out of New York City, East Harlem, actually. Um, I'm also known as Master Joshua in the BDSM and leather community here in the U.S.
Okay, can you tell me about your past leading up into your present?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Latino who was born in Miami, Florida. I grew up in East Harlem. I'm actually living 2 blocks from where I grew up. From as young as I can remember, my desire was to help people. And how can I help people? I went to school in the South Bronx. I went to a vocational school. And from there, I joined the military. I was in the U.S. Marines for about 4 years, from 97 to 2001. I got out before September 11th, and I went into law enforcement for about 10 years from that point forward. In that time, I got experiences, life experiences, but what I wasn't getting was that fulfillment of helping people, right? In the military, there was nothing going on. So there was a lot of training, and I did a lot of training, but it wasn't the same fulfillment. In law enforcement, it definitely wasn't the same fulfillment. And from there, I went into the private sector doing executive protection. In that time, my journey for identity really began. And in that time is how I found BDSM, how doing introspective work and trying to understand who I am in relationships gave me empowerment over my own life. And in that process, through that journey, I've learned what it means to develop strong connections and the importance of them, and to develop faith in these processes, faith in other human beings doing what's right, and ultimately led me to finding my connection to God, which is, as defined by me, is karma. Karma is my higher power, it's my belief that I live by.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about what was your turning point that made you reconnect with God? Because I know we talked off camera and you've had a hard life. And what was your turning point?
So believe it or not, there was a gentleman who was in service to me. And by that, he was submissive to me. In my relationships, power exchange relationships, where I'm dominant over someone, my intention behind it is to help them achieve goals in life. And in turn, in their service, they help me achieve some of mine. And I took a photograph. I do photography as well. And in my photography, what I like to do is tell stories of what I'm observing, let you see what I see, and the beauty of the human being that a person is. So I had taken this photo of Jim, and he was in a submissive position. I'll send it to you. I'll share it with you so you can have it. And in that photo, I was like, man, he's got a lot of faith in me that I will do what's right for him without a doubt, right? And granted, we're all human beings, and it wasn't smooth and seamless because there's always fear and doubt. But to the degree that he had dedicated himself to helping me achieve my goals, I was like, that's really impactful to have that much faith in someone. And I said, well, who else has faith like that in a purpose greater than themselves? And religious folks too, right? People who have developed faith in a process or power greater than themselves have similar feelings and commitments and faith. And so I said, well, what do I have faith in like that? And it took me a minute. This whole process took like about 5 minutes. And I said, karma. Karma is the law that governs my existence and my belief. And it's very real to me. There's been times I've been hungry and I've had food brought to me. And for that, I like to give credit to the times I wasn't hungry and I had food to give forward, to give away, right, to folks who need it.
I remember when I was in Santa Maria, it was this woman that was homeless. And I went in the store and I bought her some, it wasn't much. I bought her something and I gave it to her. I did that like 4 times in Santa Maria. I didn't like seeing homeless people. I did not like seeing homeless people. It was terrible. It was terrible.
So it's like being able to watch the breadcrumbs, to look at the connections to the past and believe with this trajectory, with this consistency, I don't have to worry about my next step as long as I'm doing the right thing.
As long as you're doing the right thing. And tell me, with your jobs, out of you being an entrepreneur, what kind of aspect in life, what is your baby out of the counselor, out of the promoting, out of everything, the Marines, everything you ever contributed to the police officer job? What was your baby, and where do you see yourself going with your favorite job?
So, where I'm
Thank
at
you
now,
for serving the community too.
oh, thank you so much, and thank you for yours and your support. So there's multifaceted answers to that question, right? There's a few things. What I've learned in my own journey and through life experiences, right, with suffering comes great reward. We spoke about this briefly. In order for me to in order to embrace reward, a person has to suffer, right? And if you suffer greatly, the reward is that great. And for me, by definition, the reward being empathy and compassion for those who will suffer as I have from my point forward, right? So I'll be able to hold space for those who are going through suffering as I have. So that's like one of my babies are these understandings of what am I doing with my time on earth. I think one that I'm nurturing is one of the things I do is end of life doula work, where I sit with those in advanced age and advanced illness, and I just hear their truths, and I hold space for them to speak the truth. That stems from a leather brother of mine, a leather brother meaning chosen family. He's been vulnerable and made sacrifices and commitment with and for me that he's chosen family. And he's a gay male in his mid-70s, and he's never come out to his family or friends, right?
That
Beyond us.
Very hard.
Right? So you sit with this, and it's like, I think, how tough would it be for him to transition to afterlife without ever speaking his truth? And that's some scary stuff, right? So what I want to do with that information, those experiences, I want to write a children's book around hope and faith. That life is grander than paying taxes and dying.
It's funny that you said that. Everybody has a truth. The LGBT community, whether gay or lesbian, whatever, we go through the worst stuff, and my heart goes out to that guy, because I know what it's like. Do you lie to God, or do you lie to yourself? Do you lie to the people around you? Are you going to hell for lying? So many different things. And I feel like, he is going to heaven, because I understand why he lied, because he was so into his family life that he couldn't possibly hurt them. That's what you call a white lie. That's when you lie not to hurt the other person. And they said in certain circumstances, you can get to heaven telling a white lie, because it's not to hurt God. It's not to hurt the other person. It's to keep certain things like under wrap, so that you won't hurt them in the process. So my next question goes like this, because we talked, and tell me about if you don't mind, your childhood and a little bit about being bullied and what it has done for you as a person going through the Marines and going through being a police officer.
So I'm Latino, right? And I grew up in East Harlem, and the complexion of my skin, I'm very light, right? So I used to get into fights a lot because I was the white boy from the neighborhood. And this started from a young age, maybe 9, 10 years old. And in all that time, I ended up taking martial arts, and I became pretty proficient at defending myself, right? So the conflict became just a standard, like, part of existence, right? Vigilance was a part of this. And I grew up reading comic books, and I like to reference Spider-Man, right? Because with great power comes great responsibility. And this can lead over to folks of faith and belief, right? With having great power, power being faith, there's a responsibility in what our actions are, right? And what it means to be a good person. Because just because I can fight and defend myself doesn't mean I have to fight all the time, right? It doesn't mean I have to always be in survival mode. But at what points are we given permission to stop doing that, to stop being that, right? What it did was, with that great power came that great responsibility of only fighting when I had to. And there's a mentality that I developed from it is, I don't like conflict, but I love it. Right? I don't want to be the creator of conflict, but I have no issues stopping conflict. And in that, also the ability to de-escalate, right? And a lot of people don't have that. A lot of cops do not have the ability to de-escalate because the ego alone, right? Imagine you beat someone up and now you're wrong. What do? You can't admit guilt because they teach you not to admit guilt, right? So you have to fight this constant lie, right? And you also sit back and you watch those who were bullied. Because I can't say I was bullied to the point of it negatively impacting my life, where I've had something to prove. I mean, not say negatively impact, but where it's affected my life, where I've had something to prove, which I don't. I've proved myself over and over in being able to defend myself and stop it right before and de-escalate when necessary, just showing humanity and compassion. What it's also taught me is victory without conflict, right? When is it a time not to fight and just to walk away?
Can you think of one circumstances in your Marine life and in your police officer career, both careers, that you walked away? And can you tell me two instances or one instance where you helped a citizen with your career that you have now, like your police officer and your veteran career?
Yeah, I'd have to run through that, right? Because what ended up happening when I was in law enforcement is I would speak up when they were doing wrong, bad things. There was a time where I worked for a federal law enforcement. It wasn't local. So one of the days, right? And we went by a relative's home, and they weren't there. And what the senior officers did was they took the aunt with us to go scout out other locations where this person was. And after about 2 to 3 hours, they just left her about a mile away from her home, 2 miles away in New York City, right? That's not a short 2 miles.
That's what I'm saying. Like the miles here, they be like 0.1 miles to the destination. I'll be like, where is it at? The destination is so long. But if you go to places like Santa Maria, you can walk downtown. You can walk everywhere because it's such short distances. The distance is just so short from block to block.
And I spoke up on it, right? Because it's wrong. And what happens in those situations is you're not treated with accolades, but you're bullied. It's funny how that happens. You're bullied into silence, right? That we're supposed to stick together. Mind you, this woman had just started a job after coming off of unemployment for a period of time. She was needing this work, and she was stranded without a cell phone or Metro card to get home, right? And it's like, I've had to step up.
I remember when I first got to Seattle from Ketchikan, Alaska. When I first got here, I caught a Greyhound downtown. And oh my God, Oh my freaking God. I called the police. I told the police I need a ride to the VA. It was a cute little, he wasn't little, but he was cute and he was Asian. And it was a Seattle police officer. And he was like, I'll take you because there's a hill. And I have to drive that hill every day. And it's like that reminds me of the integrity and the respect the police give to me. And I will never do nothing wrong again.
And I've had to, because people don't have to do anything, but I've stepped up a couple of times where it wasn't necessarily to help people, but it was to right wrongs as well. Right? Because there was nothing I could do for that woman. I was a junior guy, right? But I could sure let them know how I felt about it. And let it be like I wasn't out with them after that, right? Because I wasn't a company man. And that's the difference between doing what's right and what's right for you, right? Because what was right could have been right for me is I could have played right along and become one of the good old boys. But to do what was right was more important in that time, in that matter, right? So I'll take the hit so that I know that what needed to be said was said. And there's instances like that. I mean, it's just in government, period. Whenever you're dealing with machismo and ego, right? Because that's all a lot of these folks are in uniform, is a lot of ego and identity issues.
Can you tell me about one time that you internalized God in your life where you knew you were being tested?
Oh, patience. Patience is a real thing. So one of the things I struggle with is, or I've struggled with more commonly, more often, I can't say more often than not, but it's happened quite a bit more in the past than it has frequently, is imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome in the sense of me not believing I qualify for the work that I do or for the trust that I get, right? And there was a gentleman I met who was in an abusive relationship to a woman for almost 30 years. And in the time we met, we spoke. My process when I work with people is pretty extensive. I have an intake process that takes about 4 to 5 hours to complete. And then we're going to have 3 conversations, in-depth conversations about your past and your present, perspectives and desires and goals. And in that time, what I'm doing is building rapport and getting to know you, but I'm also letting you get to know me to show you that I'm just a human being, right? And in that time, I learned a lot about Apollo. He had a great disdain for women because he was in an abusive relationship for almost 30 years. He was a battered husband. Upon divorce, he discovered he was gay. And in that change of lifestyle, he became really promiscuous and acted out a lot, physically, sexually. And in that time, right, I'm early on, this is just a couple of years old, right, to the being able to define faith and understand what it means for me to integrate it in my, day-to-day, or acknowledge it in my day-to-day life of just trying to make sure I'm doing what's right. So it had been a couple of years ago, so I'm still getting an understanding of this thought process. So I'm sitting with him, and he was religious as well, and he was telling me about how he had lost faith. It's just dealing with a lot of inner conflict, and through our process of connection, he met my partner, who's a woman, and they're both sober in regards to going through a program and doing the introspective work for betterment, and did really well. In our process, he realized that there's healing to be done and that the emotions that he had weren't doing him justice. Right? So fast forward, we're spending we've put hours in getting to know each other, and we have our in-person session. And an in-person session is essentially, it's a BDSM session, but not like one would think that they see online, right, on the internet. It's an exercise of power exchange and energy exchange. Imagine play wrestling, right? A form of adult play where you can exert your energy expressively and is supported in whichever way you need to have it expressed, right? And at the end of it, he was laying in my lap. I had his, the picture of Mary holding Jesus, Pietà, right after he's brought down from the cross, and he's like, she's holding him. I swear, I was holding him, he was crying. And I felt the light from God come down and touch us.
That's what I love. I love different experiences of people have with God. Everybody's experience is always different. Everybody always have a marvelous experience where they are never the same again for being introduced to a religious thing, should I say. It's amazing.
Right, to witness this moment of healing and
I've had plenty of them,
transformation that he experienced.
but I'm not Jesus Christ. It is
like literally, I felt like it was a literal blessing.
It is definitely good how, and I believe you, it is definitely good how God, he pre-planned everything very, very, very well, where he has prophets, he has people that are believers of him, things that has happened, in your life that some people will be skeptical about, but they wouldn't be able to understand. I've had things in my life happen that people will may be skeptical about or may not understand, but just know that Jesus is real and God is real, and I believe your story. That's why I have you on my show.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. It's taken me a long time to even be comfortable around that language, right? Of what it means to be, I guess, a messenger or a servant, right, of greater purpose.
Can you tell me about where your business is going in the future? Just that business that you speak of that we were talking about earlier.
So I do professional domination. And what that is, it's defined by each professional differently, right? My purpose and intent behind it is to help people speak their truths by holding space and self-actualizing into empowerment, right? So saying the stuff that you've been afraid to say, looking at the things that you've been afraid to look at. I'd like to hold space for individuals to do that. Where it's evolved to is now I'm hosting weekend intensives and online intensives called People Before Kink. And the idea is you are who you are before what you are. And through introspective work and being able to hold space for others and have space held for you, you're able to speak your truth and be vulnerable. And in that process, be a little more confident, right, in the person that you are, to say, I've thought about these important things about myself. It's highlighted that women on women action. That's why I decided I'm not really a lesbian or bisexual, should I say, because it always highlights women on women action. And I've been with women, but it's just not for me. But women on women action is highlighted as good, while men on men action is highlighted as, oh, you ought to be ashamed. You should be playing with G.I. Joe. And that is so wrong, so very wrong. I support it. I support women. I support men. I support transgender. I support it all. But I'm not bisexual or a lesbian. I was at a point, but I decided that that's something that I don't want to get into.
because I know I'm a handful, and I know the circumstances that came with being with these women, and women are a handful. Not to say women are bad. I'm not saying that, but men, I give it to y'all. Yeah. I give it to y'all. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
And I've spoken it into existence to someone who I felt trusted and safe with, right? And while it sounds like common sense and things that should be practiced everywhere all the time, it really isn't, right? Because we spend a lot of time talking and a lot less listening.
Can you tell me a little bit about how the people can reach you if need be?
Absolutely. So you can find me at masterjoshua.com, kinkcollective.net, and ssdce.org. SSDCE standing for the Sanctuary for Spiritual Development and Consciousness Expansion. You can find me on all social media platforms under Master Joshua NYC. And you can find me here on this beautiful podcast.
If you had to give one piece of advice to someone out there struggling, what would it be, Joshua?
You know
Thank
what?
you, Joshua.
I just figured that out today. I have it written down. This is it. It says you figure out what the next thing is that's making your life suck. And,
I love it.
and asking yourself, how do I fix it? What do I need? How do I change that? What in my life sucks right now? The next thing, and how do I fix it? And just keep doing that.
Thank
over
you
and
so
over
much.
and over.
I want to thank you so much for joining my show, Joshua. Stay on the line, and I guess so much for joining my show, Joshua. Stay on the line, and I guess I will see y'all later. Take care.
Over and over.
I want to thank you so much for joining my show, Joshua. Y'all later. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye. And I will see y'all in a bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will see y'all. And I will see y'all in a bit. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Okay. I'm so glad I caught that. That was Tamara's. So we got Casanova. Green. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have a very humble special guest here today. Can you go ahead and announce to the world who you are and where you stem from?
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Casanova Green. I am originally from Columbus, Ohio, but currently reside in Lancaster, Ohio. It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you. And can you go ahead and talk about your past leading up into your beautiful present?
All right. So I got a long story in a short amount of time. So let's do this.
Yes.
So pretty much I've grown up in the church. I'm actually sitting in the sanctuary of my church, True Vision Christian Community. It's really nice in here. I love being in this place. But grew up in church all of my life. Started doing work in ministry when I was 9 years old. Been through a lot, been through abuse, rejection, molestation. Brother been through it in the midst of all of that. But God really gave me a lot of talent in the area of music and also in education, academics. and in English, surprisingly, that's a whole different story within itself. And, you know, growing up, having that goal of, I'm going to do what people in my family haven't done. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to do some things. I'm going to break the curses, make some changes. And that's kind of led me to where we are now. Yeah, long story short version of it.
Can you tell me a little bit about, you know, seriously, your growing up? God has really tested your faith. And you sustained that for 25 years. You've been doing ministry work. So can you tell me, dig into a little bit deeper about your book?
Sure. So my book is a book of poetry entitled Things I Wish I Could Tell You. And that title has been a part of my mindset in my life for over a decade. Because as a Christian in America, there's a lot of stuff we just don't talk about. And for me, my music, my praise and worship is for the church, but my writing is for the world, for everybody to take on. So in my book, it's poetry about my family, poetry about my past, poetry about happenings of the day, and really just giving a real and honest, authentic view of the world as I see it, as well as revelation that God's given me about things, and just my reality, my struggles. Like I leave no stone unturned. If it's the best way I can tell it. Like from the first poem, I'm like, listen, you about to hear all my dirt, all my business. Just, you know, and you won't have to deal with it. Amen. Then we go
Have you ever thought about videoing your what you've been through and talking about it? I know you preach about it, but have you ever thought about videoing it and selling it? Is videoing a word, y'all? I'm just curious about that. You know, to show the people and educate the people about what's going on, because in this world, unfortunately, everything pays and it has to cost. And I just feel like your story is, you know, molestation and everything, you know, I feel like your story needs to be out there.
I've thought about it. It's been on my mind. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it, because there's a lot of people who do share my narrative, especially in the Christian walk, and it's becoming more, people are starting to talk about it a lot more. And I've been trying to figure out how is the best way to release that information, but do it in a way that is different.
The only way is to practice.
Right. So like, how can we do this in a way that's going to be different and focus more so on the joy than on the pain? Because people thrive. I've learned that people thrive on pain, but they want to, because they want someone to be a comrade in their pain, and I want to be a comrade in their healing. So it's going to come, because there's a lot. Like, there's a lot I left out, but it's going to come in time. But I think the door is starting for me to begin to speak about it, especially dealing with masculinity and healing, but particularly within the church.
Deep.
Whew. Ooh, I'm not the guy.
Guess what else? You have the power of God behind you. You have people behind you, the power of Christian values behind you. So it's like, it's nothing for you to start making that. I feel like it needs to be out there.
Right.
We haven't even scratched the surface yet.
We have not. But I've learned to trust God, trust God's timing, and trust His methodology, because He's never let me wrong. And I've learned that there's a saying, timing without God equals shipwreck. So I don't want to create a Titanic, but we're coming into a season to where everything we know and we have learned about masculinity is changing. In fact, I was spending time with somebody today, talking with him, he got the full unedited version of my story, and really talking about how we have to begin to make changes to how we teach what manhood is, and also really speaking to the purpose of men, that your purpose is not just, oh, you got to work to do all this stuff. You got to deal with your stuff. You got to heal. And for me, I've been on a major journey of healing.
Which is looking like a feminine trait, and that's what's confusing to some men. Healing is not a feminine trait. It's an all universal trait. We all need to heal at some point in our lives.
Right. I mean, you have to make a decision. So I was dealing with something major, really in my healing process, and I'm currently working on my PhD in rhetoric and composition. Girl, I stay busy, and I got a wife, 2 kids, there's a whole thing. But I'm working on my PhD, and in the midst of stuff I was dealing with, I wrote a paper that may not see the light of day just yet because people ain't ready. And one of the things I talked about was Black masculinity and generational trauma. It has been proven scientifically that trauma is passed down from generation to generation, particularly from father to son. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. And looking at especially Black masculinity and blackness comes from a place of pain and placelessness. And looking at the things that we're dealing with right now, the reason why we are so Blackness is so focused on that strong, that I have no feelings, that shoot first, ask questions.
Yeah, it's mostly within the male point of view, and that's scary. My eyes open big. I don't know if y'all seen that woman that she opened her eyes so big, her eyes popped out of her socket like Guinness World Book Record stuff, but that's how big my eyes got when he said that, because I never knew that. Black on black crime need to stop. Male on male crime need to stop. Man, you mess with my woman. Walk away. That wasn't your woman. That was everybody's woman. Hit her, send her back to the city like Drake said. You know, like, man, you messing with the G code. Who cares? Walk away. Walk away is the purpose of what I'm trying to say. We don't need to be out here killing each other for no reason. I love watching African American males. I love watching Africans too. But in America, I love watching African Americans, their style and their snootiness, should I say. You know, they all have one thing wrapped around it. You know, they talk about women with big butts and stuff. You know, it's so tickling to me. But hey, it is what it is. It's what you want. You know, and I never got mad at that. I never been mad at an African American male, American or African American male that liked women with big butts. Because to be honest, you know, with me messing with so many Africans throughout the course of my life, I decided that I don't want to mess with no more African American men, but I'll support them. I like Caucasian males. You know, so I mean, you like women with big butts, I like white men. You know, that's who I am. And I get bashed for that. And I'm like, you don't want me, and yet I'm not mad at African American black men. I root for them every day still, because I am African American. But we need to stop this black on black crime.
Later masculinity is because our strength was being destroyed through practices that we can't talk about on TV. This gonna be a BU conversation on that. Like there's a narrative of trauma in Black masculinity, but we've been taught to swallow it to survive. That we endure it to survive. But in the midst of everything that's been happening, particularly with Black Lives Matter, people being aware
it's a fact that what the black man go through, not every race go through. Right. We go through more than any race, and now we're going through stuff with everything. We're not the minority no more. We're like below a minority, you know, because of everything that's going on, and we get treated like crap. We go to jail prolonged times, like longer than a typical person that goes in jail of another race. That's true. That's a fact. Been through more, and I'm not saying that makes us better or worse, but I'm saying that we need to wake up and educate ourselves and figure out a way to not only compensate but recognize that all lives matter, but also, you know, I understand why they say Black Lives Matter. Right.
But the thing is, with us, for Black folk to move forward, the healing has to begin. And like really, the stuff I learned doing this paper, writing that paper, and like really digging into me and what I was dealing with, I'm like, we need a healing and a deliverance service as a culture. Like, but we need to have that permission to heal. Like, we need the permission to deal with the things that have really bothered us. And even at men in general, of all races, we need permission to heal. Not everything is covered by sitting in the forest and throwing axes and being like, I'm a man. Men's
You done seen hoodwink.
right. It's like we need a place to be able to heal. And I know for me, in the next few months, that's something I'm going to be doing with our men here at my church, is really ministering to them about healing, because I've had to go through, and I'm still going through that major healing process to be able to enjoy the fruits and the life that I have now.
You know, there are churches out there, yes, but nothing. Where are you located? Again.
We are in Lancaster, Ohio. But
Okay, so Lancaster, Ohio.
Uh-huh.
There's churches out there, but in Lancaster, Ohio, you have to attend his church because he speaks the truth. He done been through so much over the course of 35 years. And it's like, he speaks the truth and he built a foundation. He has a family, children, like visit, see what it's about. Like, cool. Yeah, do you have any words of kind, encouraging advice for the people out there that wants to hear what you have to say?
First of all, I want to say this. I want to make this very clear. God is for everybody. I preached about this this past Sunday, about the gospel, that the gospel message is that God sent Jesus down to earth to die for our sins as the perfect sacrifice. But he died for our salvation, and he rose again, assuring our eternity. And that eternity is eternal life. And that God is for everybody. I don't care who you like, who you love, what you do, what your color of your skin, what have you. God is for everybody, and God is for you. And you have a purpose and a calling and a destiny. No matter how big or small, you have a purpose, a calling, and a destiny. For all the things that I do in my life, and I do a lot, is because God has purpose for me to do it, and he's called me to do it, and he's destined for me to do it. And it's funny, in my life, I've achieved so much in 35 years. I'm going, God, what's next? Everything that I said I was going to do and what I purposed to do has happened. God, what's next? Where's the next step? Where am I going? And God keeps reminding me, you have a purpose, you have a calling, you have a destiny. And that scripture, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, to give you peace and hope in the future. What people fail to realize is that he said that to the Israelites in exile. It was like, so they were going through a struggle. They were intertwined with people who weren't like them. They were going through it, but the plan was still there. So if you're watching this, know that you have a purpose and calling and destiny, and what you're going through, the dream that you have, the business you want to start, the stuff that you want to do, people talking about you like you're crazy, not believing in you, not trusting that you know what you're doing. Go, let them talk. Let them go through the exile season, but understand that after the exile, there's going to come a blessing. Just remember your purpose, your calling, and your destiny, and know that you are loved.
Amen. How can they reach you?
You can reach me for my creative and personal ministry endeavors, cgcreate.online. That's my website. You can learn about my music. You can learn about the book. You can actually order a signed copy of the book directly from me. It's literally like $10 to ship, and it's good. But you can also, if you like to come for me to speak at your event, sing, stand on my head, whatever, do a poetry reading, you can also book me directly from the site.
That was slow. I was delayed entry.
You was like, really stand? I can't stand on my head. I'll try real hard though. But not just because ministry is not just preaching and hooping and hollering. Ministering is serving. So however I can best serve your congregation, your organization, your group. I even do classes about how to write, how to get publication process and things like that, and really using writing as healing. So you can book me there. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/CGCreateLLC. I'm on Instagram and Twitter as Casanova TL Green. You can also connect with my church on all social media and through our website, truevisionlancaster.org. If you're in the area, service starts at 12 o'clock, and we don't church long. It don't take the Holy Ghost all day to move. We meet in person, and we meet in person as well as online on Facebook and YouTube at 12 o'clock Eastern time. Come join us. We're doing something really big. And if I don't care where you are in this country, if you're in California, you're like, I need a church home, you can become a part of us wherever you are in the world.
Thank you so much. Stay on the line. Thank you, everyone. Stay on the line. So much. Stay on the line. Thank you, everyone. You all have a nice day. You all
wherever you are in the world.
Thank you so much. You all have. Thank you so much. You all have a nice day, and I'll be back on here.
Wherever you are in the world.
Thank you so much. You all have a nice day, and I'll be back on here in a little bit. Bye. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for the likes. Bye. Back on here in a little bit. Bye. Bye. Back on here in a little bit. Bye. Damn it. Darn it. I didn't mean to cuss. Yeah. Bye. Back on here in a little bit. Bye. There we go. Now I gotta change the names. Okay. Who do we have first? Time to play juggling. Tim McCarthy. Let me make sure I spell his name correct. I'm sorry, y'all, for cussing. I didn't mean to cuss. I had other people film embedded in his film, and I was like, how do you get this off? Okay, so you got Tim McCarthy, and he is retired. And space. Author. Okay, enter. Now we go down, and we got, who was the second? Master Joshua. And he is right here. Retired. How do I spell retired? Retired. There we go. Spell check. And what else? What else? Go back and put BSMD. Let me make sure. I don't know how to spell that. I have to go back to the video. Darn it. That means it's going BSM. I'm just going to put dominatrix. And Go back down. And go. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Who is the last one? Casanova Green. Preacher going for doctorate's degree. Kimberly Cloud. Okay. It's good enough.
Girl.
Thank you so much. You all have a nice day, and I'll be back on here in a little bit. Bye. Still. Bye. So glad I'm on here in a little bit. Bye. Here in a little bit. You all have a nice day, and I'll be back on here in a little. Now I'll go back to the beginning. We got 56, 44, 15. Okay, let's go. Hate that it's messed up. I think I had my headphones plugged in. So we got but I never used to have it plugged in. I hate that. I wish I knew how to take out the noise cancellation. Tim McCarthy, Master Joshua, and Casanova Green. Let me copy and paste this. I'm getting hip. Next, do it again. Okay, it's downloading. Okay. Sorry about the cussing. I only said one word. I hope they don't take my page away. I know they're ready to press that presidential button. Uh, okay, it's getting too hot. Okay. Now what? So we're gonna find out these two lovely people names. How we do that? We go here, send files. We gotta find Tim McCarthy, Casanova Green, and go here. Thank you for being a friend. Tim McCarthy. Cool. Do it like that. Like that. Copy. Go back here. Paste it. Who else? Casanova Green. How did I do that? Casanova Green. Enter. And one more. Master Joshua. Uh-oh. I think his name is Joshua. He did Joshua. Please. There we go. Now L Renee. Who else? Who else? SBCB, Lone Park, and Samantha. Cool. Samantha. So we got what's his name? Tim McCarthy. Master Joshua and Casanova Green. Thank all of you for your patience. I will be emailing you shortly with the news. Upload files, okay. Downloads. Let me delete this. Where are you at? I got all of these videos. I don't even, here we go. I got a lot to delete. Transfer. Okay. So a deal's a deal. Let's break them real quick. Close that out. Wish I could get DCTV on here. So Master Joshua, I got Santa Barbara, I got Lompoc, and the rest. Okay. Hi, Joshua. I just wanted to tell you that your video is being sent to the producers of Santa Barbara Television Network. And what else? Santa Barbara Television Network. What else? Manhattan Neighborhood Network. The District of Columbia Television Network. There's one more. Long Park TV. What else? Santa Barbara, New York, DC, Long Park, and there's one more. NECAT Nashville Public Television. Thank you for your cooperation. Um, Let me copy this and send it to the rest of them. Copy. What else? Compose. We got. I just text Joshua, emailed Joshua. Now it is Casanova. Okay, and what was the other one? Tim McCarthy. Okay, I email both of them, or all three of them. Close this out. That's going. I need DCTV up. Hold on. It's uploaded. Oh, I gotta do one more thing with I got a lot of stuff to delete because I don't have extra space. That's why I put it on Facebook. Tim McCarthy, Master Joshua, and who else? Tim McCarthy, Master Joshua, and Casanova Green. create. Wait, upload media. I'm sorry. So we got DCTV now. First, we're gonna go to Facebook. Download that. Where are you at? There we go. Thank you, Tim McCarthy, Joshua, Master Joshua. And who else? Casanova Green. Post. Okay, that's posting. We transfer imminent. Let's go to DC and get this over with. Submit. Go back to the dashboard. Submit a single program. Residency, non-DC residents. March. Okay. March. Membership, individual. Program colleague, Kimberly Cloud Show featuring Tim McCarthy, Master Joshua, and who else? Casanova Green. How many minutes was it? Fiddlesticks, 50, 56, 44, 15. 56, 44, 15. 56, 44, 15. This is about the promotion of a great book and his life at his past life and McCarthy, Mr. McCarthy's past life as, what did he used to do again? Working as a coach and many other hats he wore. Period. Then we speak about Master Joshua's life with bullying and him being in the Marine, and a police officer. Him retiring. In his old days while in the Marines and as a police officer. What else? He is in dominatrix as well and is deep within the LGBT community. Casanova Green is going for his doctorate degree and he is a preacher. It speaks. I talk to them both about their past, present, and future. Produced, not at DC. Adult content, I'm going to say yes. It wasn't nothing bad, he said, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to say yes. I hope that they allow it. Previously aired at DC, no. Full name, Kimberly Cloud. Date is the 3rd. I agree. Submit. What else? Let's get this movie going. Tim McCarthy, where you at? No, I got a lot of stuff to delete. Movie. There we go. And we're gonna, okay. We got that going. Keep it going. Close that out. Delete. Okay. 95% MNN. Upload your media. Bam. My name is Kimberly Cloud. Project name. Tim McCarthy. Master Joshua. And who else? Casanova Green. I don't like that. Contact email to Kimberly Cloud Show at Yahoo. You won't let me put it in all the way. So I'm gonna write it. Contact phone 253-304-6990. Series, episode title. Baby. Let me go here. I know what to do. No more marching, we're marching alone. We know every song by heart. On with the show is the band. Yes, the LGBT. So many. Where's Manhattan? I want it global. Where is it at? Where are you at? Tim. I got a lot of stuff to delete. There we go. Begin upload. Okay, that's downloading. WeTransfer is finished. What about Facebook? Facebook is still going. WeTransfer. Okay. So while those things are going, hold on. I wrote them. I sent it to all the producers, and I can only wait for them to. I just gotta wait. It's just a waiting game for it to download and stuff. So, oh God. Hello, Kabuta. Kabuta. Sometimes I get messages that's inappropriate. Especially when I'm talking about Donald Trump. It's like inappropriate. You can't even have a password by Donald Trump. You have a password by Donald Trump, it's like non-recognizable. Try it. Try it. I don't even have no Donald Trump passwords no more. But yeah. So I'm thirsty. But other than that, I'm rolling. I'm rolling. I thank y'all for watching me. I appreciate you guys. I got 20 minutes on my marathon, then I earn a ring. I'll stick with y'all and play some music. If you want to find me, you can find me at the Kimberly Cloud Show, 39 on You Now. I like to sing and play music. I want to see what happened after this 19 minutes, 29 seconds, and 49 milliseconds. So, yeah. But thank you for sticking with me. Oh my God, 2 hours. It's 3:30. 3:30 p.m. It's so beautiful outside. I will see you guys later. And as usual, remember to subscribe below to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm deleting this because it's just so long. And it take up space, you know. Yeah. So see y'all later. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Are the we there? So